Well, hello, and welcome to the very first episode of the Friggin' Nobodies Storytime Hour. This book was recommended by Jacob, one of the hosts. It's called Banana Stan and the Grandstand Plan, and I think you're going to enjoy it. Let's dig in.
These summer nights never got any better. It was 3 a.m., and I was walking the streets because it was too muggy to sleep. It felt like you were getting waterboarded with a sweaty armpit of a filthy undershirt. I lit a cigarette just to get the taste of the city out of my mouth. What I wanted was some time away from this landfill. What I needed was a drink. The salad bar was one of those exclusive joints, and the worst kept secret in town. They had strict policies on who was a preferred customer, and those policies didn't include a fella like me. But there weren't any other drinking holes open this time of night, so I figured I'd roll the dice. When he saw me, the bouncer got right to it. "We don't serve your kind here," he sneered. "Scram, Nanner." "Is that a fact?" I asked, and took a long drag on my cigarette. I sent a smoke ring into the greasy air and watched a moment as it expanded, undulating, dissipating, until, like everything else, it disappeared into the night sky. Behind that slab of a bouncer, the door opened, and framed by the dim light of the club stood Tommy Roma. Roma, one of the nastiest fellas in the city. It didn't seem like there was a grimy business into which he wouldn't plant his roots. He smirked at me, and I looked him up and down. "What about this fruit?" I asked the bouncer. "Uncle Tommy's all right with you?" The bouncer smiled. "He's one of the good ones. Now beat it, before I split ya." Tommy put a restraining hand on the shoulder of the bouncer and laughed cruelly. "I'll take care of this. Sometimes these nanners forget their place." Tommy stepped into the alley and squared up. I flicked my cigarette into the gutter and sighed. All I needed was a little sip of something to help me forget my problems. And here I was with a whole basket of new ones. "You sure about this, Tommy?" I asked. I didn't hear his answer, but I sure felt it when it smashed into my jaw. It was over quick. I felt like I'd been through a blender. Tommy stood over me, adjusting the cuffs of his suit jacket, his face twisted and red with contempt. "You know what's black and brown and yellow all over?" he asked, and then answered, "It's you, chump." Tommy turned on his heel and strutted off into the expectant city. "You're finished in this town, Nanner," he called over his shoulder. I struggled to my feet and coughed up a mouthful of pulp. I needed help.
Gosh, I'm sorry, this is terrible. Them friggin' Nobodies fellas told me this was the next best thing in kids' books. But, well, maybe I don't know nothing from nothing. I'm gonna skip ahead. Maybe there's something better a little farther on. Let's dig in.
The old lady watched as I secured the cloth around my head with a quick granny knot, and she smiled approvingly. Bandana Nana and a helping hand to stand as Banana Man again in Canada. I was going to go back to the city.
Good sweet Lord above, that was one of the worst things I've ever read in my entire life. You can tell the agency I will not be working with them again. Them friggin' Nobodies. They got garbage across the board. I will not... Yeah. Goodbye.